Let's see how quickly I can get this up and running. Let's crack on. Hello and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at a Sony C6 SLC6 UB UK markets, and I bought this from eBay back in May last year, 2023. It's now June 2024. It's taken me that long to actually get round to getting this going, but I'm hoping it's found a new home, so you know, more than happy to get it up and running as quickly as I can. But I say as quickly as I can because I have about 2 days to do this, and I think what I'm going to do, I was going to put up a NEC PVC for 740 video, which is incredibly long, but I think it might be this one this week, and we'll save the PVC for next week. Yeah, so I'm going to do this pretty much real time. There will be edits in the video just because I get disturbed, doorbell rings, kids, whatever, things need doing. But other than that, I'm going to record it real time, so it'll be interesting to see how long this video is. But yeah, I've also cheated a little bit insofar as I've got the iron poised. It's not on yet, but it's ready to go. And I've also got a belt kit, belt idler kit, I believe, and I've got the capacitors for the servo section, because when I bought this, the fault was unstable picture. Now, I've got a bit of confusion about this machine because I thought I'd already looked at it, and I thought I'd already also done the servo section, but I can't see fresh solder, so probably I didn't. I'm getting it mixed up with the C6 Mark 1 that I did at Christmas, and second video in the new year. Maybe I looked at this and I mentioned it. I don't know, I can't remember. I haven't looked, I haven't had time. For some reason I believe the heads are bad as well. Now, I do have new heads, so if that's the case, we'll change those, but I'll do that on a separate video. I'm not going to include it in this one, just because I thought it might be quite nice to have a dedicated video on changing the heads on these old machines and using the eccentricity gauge. So with that, let's crack on. So before we do anything, let's actually power it on and see what it's doing. Oh, there we go. I was going to say, oh, the SDK's gone. Okay, so we're on already. Bit noisy. So we have got wind. Rewind is really sluggish. Not surprising, really. And yeah, I sort of see why I thought it could be heads, but it might not be. It could be a video fault, but it does look like heads, to be fair. So okay, well, let's check the I need a tape in there, that's good. Let's check those servo caps and take it from there. So I've already got the covers off. Let's disconnect the leads. It's going to be quite a random type of video because you're going to see me moving the camera as best I can. So this is a servo board. And it's missing its little black spacer, but that's fine. I'm not terribly worried about that. Not uncommon. I thought I had one of those. I may well have one kicking about, so if I do, I'll put one on. Again, I've got sort of a bit of a strange deja vu feeling about this. Like I've done this before. I have. So I've done all the servo caps. That's good. So one thing I am not going to do is I'm not going to show cleaning. I'm not going to include that in the total time of getting this going. So yeah, but I am going to dust this out. So I'll get that done and we'll crack on. It's not perfect, but you know, there's only so many times you can twist a component leg with a brush. So let's put this back in. I did have a look for one of those after I'd had my little cleaning extravaganza, and I don't have one. I thought I did. I thought I had one left, a black one of those, but yeah, I don't. So next thing to do is belts, and first thing we need to do is get the front off. So let's put this down. I feel like a bit of a fraud now because obviously I've done those caps, which do take quite a bit of time relatively to the whole job. The belt should be fairly straightforward. We do have that one slightly tricky one for the lacing, but that'll be fine. And we have actually got all three of the metal clamps that keep this well and truly seated. I've already cleaned this, so somewhere I must have footage of me doing all of this. I probably will replace that foam as well, but let's get the front loading system out. So you probably can't see that at all. And screw down there. It's a bit of a weird one doing this video because I'd usually edit all this out. Because undoing screws is really quite boring, but I'm doing this real time, so even though, like I say, I'm a bit of a fraud because I've done those caps, I will have a look. I'll see if I can find the footage. I think I must have been doing two machines at once or something when I was recording, and I think I might have inadvertently. Let's just unhook that. So I need to unplug that. I need two hands for that, so I can't hold the camera. There we go. So all out. So there we have it in all its glory. Fairly tidy, if not a bit dusty. I promise I won't show much of me cleaning.
stuff, because it really is. It's even more dull than taking screws out. Yeah. I'll just do that. Get the worst of it off. Like I say, I'm not going to show or include in the time dusting out much. Right, so we've got belts from Australia, from Star Components. If you're watching this, Star Components, sponsor me. I always use them. They're absolutely great, and I hope to work with them actually on some PVC, NEC PVC 740 belts, because although they, for the the NEC PVC 740 and 700, even though it uses pretty much the same deck as the the Sony SL3000, there are, I think it's one belt that is different. So there we go, belt kit. You don't get the tyre for the take up. I managed to get a hair in there. We do also have, where are we? That. So I probably will change that for a new old stock. Well, to say that, I'll probably change. Oh yeah, it's got a new tyre on it. I think I'll put a new tyre on it. You probably know better than me, to be honest, because I did that other C6 at Christmas, and I seem to remember I did something weird. So let's change that first. So that'll be rewind sorted. Whoops. We get it on. And I could really do with just a tiny bit of lubricant on there. So we will use good old WD-40 silicone, because we don't use WD-40. We are not dispersing water. And I do need to clean in there because it's quite grubby. It's not terrible, but it is quite grubby. Just try not to get any on the tyre. There we go. And looks like there's fibre of hair from somewhere. I was going to say from the paintbrush, but that is not from the paintbrush. Super. So it's my phone going off. I should have put it on silent, shouldn't I? So that's good. Bit of white on there. What that's all about, quite. Super. So that's that. So next thing, let's open one of these belt kits. These belt kits are about, what was it? About 30 quid. Oh, they do have the sorry, they do have the tyre. It's just brilliant, isn't it? It's just so good to have everything in a belt kit. So lift that off. And I'm going to take the spacers out. Make sure you put those back in, because things will go horribly wrong. Well, they won't actually, but you'll find that the ride height will be wrong. So just put a little bit of silicone spray on my finger, just work this in. You could argue that your finger, the grease on your finger is not really a great thing to mix with it, and you'd actually be absolutely right. But I've just had isopropyl on there, so they're as dry as anything. And I think I might turn. Yeah, you see there's actually two washers there. So these are spacer washers, and you do not want to lose those. So spool, we'll give it a quick clean because it's off. Really, all of this could do with the clean before I do much more. Yeah. Actually, before I do too much more, what I need to do is get this off and get the belts done there, and that idler tyre. So like I say, I'm not going to show cleaning. I keep saying it, I know, it's just, you know what I'm like. It's so tempting to show cleaning. Yeah, I get a little bit maybe OCD. I just like things to look nice. And it doesn't take that long, but it's just nice to know that things are actually clean inside. So that belt comes off, and yeah, I seem to remember you've got to take off. Gosh, take this off. Just move you around so you can see what I'm doing. And that one. Do I have to lift the ring? I've forgotten how to do this, to be honest. So screw behind here, component leg, and lift that back, and that should afford me a little bit of space just to lift this out, he says. Oh, I've taken out the wrong screw. Let's put that one back in. So that's actually a screw that mounts the aluminium chassis to the steel deck. And there's actually a screw in here. It looks like this has been changed before. It's probably why the belts are still working as well as they are. So let's lift that out. And there's the belt, which is decidedly deformed. And this belt, super. and that's what makes that noise. So, oh, where's my screwdriver? Yeah, there's a little bit of cracking going on the plastic there, but it is actually totally secure, so that's cool. So a little bit of the silicone. Super. Then make sure I've got no silicone on my fingers. So tyre, I think that's the right one. No, it's not. It is that one. It's actually a little bit the wrong size, but it'll fit fine. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause the video now just to, I want to clean all this up. Like I said, I don't want to show cleaning because it's just like cleaning. So I'll do that and we'll crack on. So it is cleaned up. It's not perfect, but it is a lot better. And I didn't want to put that around there because obviously there's a bit of silicone grease there. But belt on there. That's not the right belt, is it? Oh, is it? Yeah, no, that's not the right belt at all, is it? So that one, to me, seems a bit thin. But anyway, there's a clutch there. And yeah, I mean, compared to the original, that is actually identical. So yeah, ignore me. So then we've got this belt, which is going to be this belt. So that's super. Just clean that. Naughty me. So let's just give that quick. With the gears that I take off, I actually use the Servosol Foam Cleanser 30 just because it lifts out all the rubbish. It does a really good job, and it's fine with the plastics. So yeah, and this is actually a friction item, so having it totally degreased and cleaned up is not a bad idea. Oh, I haven't cleaned up the other bit yet. So let's clean this up again, put it in a bit of foam cleanser just to clean it, degrease it, get it nice. And then we have to put a tyre on it. Just a little bit of a stretch, but it's fine. Magic. And then I thought I'd already put a little bit on here, but I'll put a bit more. It's still mucky on the top. No, I won't show any cleaning. Sorry. Muck on there as well that I missed. Clean the metal and didn't clean the plastics off. Like I say, I'm not going for like concours condition here. but just getting out as much muck as I go along as I can. Oh, I thought I got some grease on there, but I haven't. Right, so belt, and we do have the fun of getting that plate back in. That's looking good. So what did I do with that? Yeah, so that's really grubby as well, so I'll just give that a clean and a bit of a lubricate. So yeah, let's crack on. So that's all done, and giving it a lubricate as well with a little bit more of that WD-40 silicone grease. So let's get this in here. Just noticing a little bit of rubbish, not much though. And so not too sure why they actually put grease on this metal bit here, because that really would have very little effect on anything really. So get that in. That needs to locate, hang on, I've done that wrong. That needs to locate there. I think the belt's still on. I think I've moved it down, but it's not the end of the world if I have. And locate the screw hole. And screw in there. I don't want to tighten that right up yet. And then screw in here, which will probably drop before I get in there. Goes in there. And then just put this back. And just put you down so I can just tension it. So I'm just gently putting my thumb against it just to tension it up. That all seems okay. Super. Then we've got this gear here, which is basically what drives the pulley to take up the tape. And nearly lost the circlip. It's creeping under the machine. So we'll put that on. There. And we'll just clean off. There's a little bit of excess silicone on the top there. I don't want silicone grease flying everywhere. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, you can see that idler is very shiny, so that was a good call. So, spool. Old tyre off, easy. just put it off, put a new one on. And pull this back. Lovely. Only thing I've done off camera, I did put a tiny bit of silicone grease just down there, some of the WD-40 stuff down there, just to give that a bit of lubrication. Otherwise, that's all I've done off camera. Yeah, time to do under the dowel. We've got to put this on. And it goes, I believe, like that. Oh, I'm missing a circlip there. Where's that gone? Yeah, need to find that. Just cleaned the, I say I cleaned it, still some muck there. Cleaned the counter and lubricated it again with silicone grease, spray grease, a WD-40, and that is lovely. See there, it's all nice and clean. And just be careful of these springs. I mean, they're not that easy to catch, but you don't want to, because it will break. And a little bit of grease down here as well for the reset, just so that bit of plastic slides nicely, just makes it feel nice. So that's cool. Just going to clean these relay taped coils. So I don't know where that circlip went, which is a bit of a worry because that might have dropped down through. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get my circlip kit out, and we'll get that changed. So stand by while I get that. It's in easy reach, so I don't have to stop recording because we're doing this sort of real time. Apart from the cleaning, I keep saying that, don't I? And oh, knocking cans everywhere. I'm not usually this haphazard, but obviously we're sort of doing this a bit against the clock, which is always fun. Careful taking that off. And probably be one of those, I would say. What is that? 2.5 by 6 by 4 millimeter. Let's see if that indeed does the trick. And I suspect when we change the belts in the bottom of the deck, we will find that circlip, or it will fall out. But this will be fine if I can get it on. Oop. I might just use there we go. It's a little bit loose. Yeah, it's not quite as tight as these, but that will do. I mean, it's on, and that ain't going anywhere, so that's fine. So let's get this put back on. And I'm going to have to clean all the dust out of there as well. Again, I won't show that. And this looks mucky, but it isn't. It's just tarnished with age. Now, one thing with these belt kits, they don't come with the counter belt, so I'm going to have to try and find one of those. Although, to be fair, it actually doesn't feel too bad. I'll see. I think if I can find a replacement, then we'll do it. But let's not worry about that just yet. Let's turn the deck over and have a look at the underneath belts. So the slight problem I have is my battery is going flat, so this can make life quite interesting. So incredibly dusty. I'm just seeing all the dust on the front of the unit actually, and I did clean the dust out and clean the display previously. Like I say, somewhere I've got a video of me doing all of this, and I just wonder what I did. I must have just done it in tandem with another machine, and all the videos went into one folder, and I just didn't do it. So this is where the fun begins. I say that just from past experience, or the last time I did one of these, where I got the wire caught, this wire caught. So we'll take particular care with that. Let's do the capstan. It's actually fairly tidy under here, but I can see quite a bit of dust. Can't see a circlip. Take that out. There's a cobweb there. Wow. So yeah, so that one screw's gone into the abyss, which I really didn't want to have happen. But that's fine. And I'm not cleaning, honest. You'll notice there is grease in there as well, which again I'm not terribly convinced needs to be there. Okay, so pull that off, and new and old belt. So new belt is on the right, so it's looking good. No contamination at all. I probably will just give that a quick clean on the capstan motor, just for the sake of completeness. And I probably will clean the capstan as well, capstan flywheel. Yeah, there's a bit of muck there. So, new belt. Oops. And I suppose stick a bit of grease in there. Don't know how much it really needs, but that seems like a nice amount. Put that back. It does look as if at some point it's been in a smoky atmosphere, which isn't surprising. I mean, it's from the 80s, isn't it? So, and I managed to lose my screwdriver. Oh, this is where it gets fun, because I start losing tools. There we go. So that was underneath, underneath the cleaning microfiber cloth. Oops. There we go. Not why I find that so hard, but super. And where did that other screw go? Oh, that actually is not the right screw. I'll just put in there. I was thinking as I was putting it in, that doesn't look right. Yes, it's actually one of those. Not one of those. I'm not actually sure where that's from. Did I miss something? There's that. So that's that belt done. And then this belt is easy. And then this belt is fun. And I say that, it's actually not that bad at all. But I have a nasty habit of fouling the mechanism on the top of the deck with the cable and forgetting that I've done it. And I'm hoping by saying that I've done that, we should be good. What have I missed? So the screw on the top. Oh, I'm taking the screw out. Why did I think I'd already taken the screw out? Honestly. Yeah, so this is where I get the problem, because you have to pull this out. And the way it roots is a little bit interesting, and then I never route it right when I put it back together. And I think it's mainly because when you're putting it back together, it's a little bit of a battle to change the belt. So yeah, so we've got this one as the underneath belt. It goes to the motor assembly that I've just taken off, and then this is the other belt. So it's interesting that the belt for the motor is actually thinner. Looking at the old ones, they are quite deformed. So yeah, I'm going to take a cleaning break and just clean these up, make them look pretty, and then we'll get fitting. Let's crack on. Let's see if I can get this right. So motor, and try and keep it in the actual spindle. And I probably have done this wrong, haven't I? Have I? Yeah. So this needs to come. It's a bit of a pain. But that needs to go back around the motor. I mean, am I going to worry too much? There we go. Oops. Oops. And what's going on there? That's still on the motor. You can't see this, but I'm just checking it's on the spindle. Oh, that is actually fine. So the screw, of course I can't really show it. This screw that I'm putting in now actually locates into a plastic sleeve that sort of guides the screw into the chassis, metal chassis. So that's fine. And then this belt goes on here. Perfect. So the belts on the bottom of the deck are done. One thing I have done, because I still think I'm probably going to have to change the belt, the heads, is I've loosened off the fan. And to loosen off the fan, basically hold the fan on the top, which I'm doing now, and just turn this. And it can be really quite tight. You might have to actually get something on that nut just to free it. And notice there's a pulley there as well, because this is the same as the C5 and C7. One thing I missed, because I was cleaning, is clean the sockets. So I've done the rear and the front sockets, just given the outers a cleaned all the dust out of the plastic. So yeah, well worth doing, easy fix. Just be a bit careful because this plastic can be a bit brittle, but yeah, we're good. So I've also done the front. I mean, the front of this was actually quite dusty, so I've cleaned all of that while I was waiting for some charge to come into my camera. Super. Let's get rid of that. So, and there is, which I've managed to trap, this grounding strap. Oop. And let's put that in. And the one in the middle. And the one there. So there's 3 screws. Let's move that out of the way. Super. So should be somewhere near. And you'll notice that the top borders come adrift. Now, counterbelt, I ended up picking out this belt. It's a little bit on the tight side, but I think it'll be fine. I might just have to let Star know what the original belt dimensions are. Let's get the let's get the belt onto this. Get that over. It's quite tight, to be fair. Oh, I see what's going on there. It's fouling the bottom of the counter. Super. Lovely. So, front loading system. Nothing much to do with that. I will say I did do this off camera. I'm really sorry, but it was really quick. I cleaned off all the old grease, and I've just put some silicone grease on the helix screw and the lifters, and basically anywhere where metal contacts plastic or plastic against plastic. Not going too over the top. So yeah, that's back in. Also clean the doors. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. So let's put these screws back in. And it's actually getting quite late now, so tiredness is starting to take over. Putting the connector back in. So I'm just hoping that I managed to do that belt underneath right first time, because every time I do a C6 I always forget to put that bottom assembly in properly, and it's yeah I've done it every C6, so I'm hoping this is the first one I actually get right. So yeah, we'll see if we got that right. So I would like to replace, there's a pad, a foam pad that goes on here, and it just stops the top cover resonating against the top loading system if we put a TV on the top. So I'm gonna just find some foam, get that sorted, and yeah, I should dig that out and we'll crack on. So I've sourced some foam, just cut some. You can see there the old adhesive has actually taken off the galvanization on the front loading system, which is not ideal, but this sticky should hopefully stop that from ever being an issue. I don't know. How long are people going to use this kit for? Remember as a kid thinking these things will be around forever, and they'll just keep getting better and better. And then of course I started getting into IT in the 90s and realised that it would be only a matter of time before streaming was a thing. And of course streaming is a thing, but yeah, there's nothing quite like putting a tape into a machine and watching a film, especially a film that's from the 80s or earlier. But yeah, so there we go, that's done. So yeah, so I need to do some more cleaning, and so it's a bit of muck, but everything else is looking good, and yeah, we'll see how we get on and give it a power on test. So yeah, let's crack on. So front is pretty clean, to be fair. I mean, there's still some dust in there, but I'm not going to worry too much about a little bit of dust in there. The most of it's the main of it's out. So there we go. A bit of a jiggle, and put these screws back in. I seem to be missing one. Oh, I found the circlip. Just found the circlip, so I'll put that in the collection, because the one I put on is fine, absolutely fine. It's holding on well. So that's cool. And I'm missing got that, but I haven't got the screw. So I'm gonna have to look for that. Where's that gone? Yeah, I'm not going to count that as part of this this repair because I've lost a screw, and you always do, don't you? So yeah, I'll find that and yeah, give it a test. So we're all back together, and I need to screwdriver. Try to do it. It's really bad, isn't it? Using the wrong size screwdriver. Yeah, I mean this has to go because it's it doesn't have the plastic shields on the live and neutral prongs, so I'll change the plug and use a screwdriver that really isn't the best screwdriver, but I think we'll get away with it. Yeah, if I was doing this off camera, I'd actually search out the right screwdriver. This is actually quite ironic. So yeah, these come with 3-amp fuse fitted as standard. So I'm actually happy with the wiring on the on this. So live is really short, neutral's really long. So basically, if for any reason this is seriously yanked out of the cord grip, the live will come out first. And how I like to do these is taking this out. Let's just undo these first. But yeah, take this out. It's very well done. This is almost textbook how that other plug was put on. Neutral. I remember back in the day there was this big debate about putting solder on the tip or on the whole thing, and putting solder on the whole thing was sort of frowned upon, but putting solder on the tip was a bit sort of contentious. It was, some people said, oh yeah, it's a great idea because it stops it fraying when you push it through, so you know you haven't got whiskers. But honestly, it'll be fine. I mean, if you're plugging in something that's like 13 amps, then maybe, but no, not too worried. I mean, probably if an electrician was watching this, they'd go, oh god, terrible what you're doing. and I would tend to agree until I did that. There we go. So let's just check these are tight. Don't want to over tighten them so they sort of snarl the copper, break off the copper in there. So no CCA here. It's a real deal. So let's power it on and see what happens. So we're on. That's unlaced. Smooth. Oh, that's lovely. So let's just plug in some. Yeah, so we obviously still have the head clog, but it's lovely. Oh, that's not so clever, is it? Forward is fine. Rewind is not great. Okay, well, I'm fairly happy with that, to be fair. I know that sounds a bit weird. So smooth. The reason I say that is I think that will settle down, but we need to do the heads as well. So the heads, when I do the heads, I'll check. I'll sort the upper drum, because I think that is down to upper drum issues. So yeah, so that's it. We have a fully serviced machine. We just have to sort those heads out, but yeah, that'll be in a future video, and looking forward to doing that actually. And also have a look hopefully at the upper drum alignment tool as well, although I'll be putting the scratchers in the top. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this one, and pretty much real time, apart from me putting that grease on the front loading system, and of course I did those caps. Who knew? So with that, thank you very much for watching, and please like and subscribe as well, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. So bye for now.